Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. My name is Frama Panyi. Taiwo Ozoma is the sign language interpreter. And now, the headlines. President Tinubu appeals to Nigerians to keep faith and believe in his administration's transformation agenda. National Assembly passes 70,000 naira national minimum wage bill. And United States Director Secret Service resigns after widespread outrage over assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu is appealing to Nigerians, particularly the youth, to keep faith and believe in his ability of his administration to transform Nigeria to an enviable height, and so desired by the citizens. Information and National Orientation Minister Mohammed Idris conveyed the message of President Bola Tinubu after their meeting at the State House. Speaking on the state of the nation, the minister says the president is fully aware of the situation in the country and working hard to turn around the social and economic situation for the good of all Nigerians.
Nigerians that he listens to them, especially the young people that are trying to protest. Mr. President is listening to them. He takes what they say seriously and is working assiduously to ensure that this country is good, not just for today, but also for the future. The issue of the planned protest, Mr. President does not see any need for that. He's asked them to shelve that plan. He's asked them to await government's response to all their pleas. He has listened to them, like I said, and a lot is happening. Only today, the National Assembly has expeditiously passed the new national minimum wage. You can see how the president is working. It was transmitted only yesterday. Today it has been passed. A lot of other interventions that the president has also put in place are also going to be looked at expeditiously in the interest of Nigeria. So there's no need for strike. The young people out there should listen to the president and allow the president more time to see to the realization of all the goodies he has for them.
National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Clinic, one of federal government's strategies for making it easier to do business in Nigeria, has been launched in Dutse, Jigawa State. Vice President Kashim Shettima at the event also launched the Jigawa State Retail Shop Empowerment Program, courtesy of the Umar Namadi-led administration. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Respite has come the way of small business owners in the new world known as Jigawa State. Inspection of exhibition stands to showcase the skills and experience of the people, and the inauguration of the Dutse Ultra-Modern Market Solar Plant for the National MSME Clinic. Vice President Kashim Shettima describes small businesses as the lifeline of communities across the nation and a strong pillar of stability at this critical phase of economic transition.
This is why we cannot afford to have you have any fear. We will not rest until each of you is in a vantage position to send the support and capital made available for our small businesses. Through this business, the administration has provided a platform for MSMEs in Jigawa State to interact directly with regulatory agencies, financial institutions, and business support organizations, receiving on-the-spot solutions to solve the challenges they face.
We are delighted that this also aligns with our agenda for Greater Jigawa, in which we plan to implement several well-conceived targeted interventions to support and promote entrepreneurs, efficient business incubation, and development of small businesses.
Thank the people of Jigawa State on what we have done on this partnership.
As part of efforts to ensure food security and stimulate economic growth across Nigeria, the Vice President has inaugurated 10 hectares of land for Jigawa State solar-based sprinkler irrigation demonstration farm for rice and vegetables at Sumore community in Dutse local government area. to revolutionize Nigeria's agricultural sector as part of the ongoing efforts to enhance food security, create jobs, and diversify Nigeria's economy. In Dutse, the Vice President also launched the Jigawa State Palliative Shops, a cashless transaction initiative to train 1,000 youth as agents across the 287 wards of the state. From Dutse, Jigawa State, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Violent protest is criminal, but peaceful protest is a right of Nigerians, and the police will protect those who may want to embark on a peaceful protest. Inspector General of Police Kaide Ebetokun stated this at the Strategic Police Managers Conference of the Force in Abuja. RGP assures that adequate measures have been put in place in the event of a protest, and the force will respond in a more professional and civilized way.
This is a delicate time to want to engage in any form of violence, and all Nigerians will come together and say no to violent protest. Yes, we know that there is hunger, times are hard, but government is doing their best to ameliorate the suffering of Nigerians. A lot of measures have been put in place. Government is already hearing the cries of the people. Even governors at their own level are trying their best to make sure that things in their states are stable. And this is not happening only in Nigeria. It's a global meltdown. I know some people who left Nigeria because they felt Nigeria was hard. Now they want to come back because where they went is even harder.
The police appeals to Nigerian youth to shun protests because it does no one any good. Now, the coalition of Middle Belt youth leaders have called on Nigerians to give President Tinubu the chance to actualize his blueprint for the nation. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, youth of Middle Belt extraction vow not to participate in the proposed nationwide protest, saying it is ill-conceived. David Aire reports.
The coalition represents all the youth organizations and over 100 ethnic groups in the Middle Belt. The group acknowledges the critical state of the economy, but believes that any protest now could worsen the situation for the masses.
The whole system is overheated with political rivalry, overheated with religious sentiment, overheated with ethnic and regional sentiment everywhere. What we don't know, this is political coup. This is not what you think. I'm telling you, the outcome of this will be very, very serious. It will lead to damage of properties. It will lead to loss of lives and many other things.
The youth leaders are also concerned that some criminal elements could hijack the protest and unleash mayhem on innocent citizens.
So we encourage our people. There are various means through which we are going to sort out this issue. Remember, this government makes the situation we are in today was not made by this present government. 1 year, 2 months will not be enough for you to judge a government. We have seen certain steps that this government has taken. So let's give them a benefit of doubt. To see to it that, okay, in the process of time, with our effort as Nigerians, with our patience, because everybody is feeling it.
They agreed to also relate with leaders of other geopolitical groups to ensure peace in the country. In Abuja, David Aire, NTA News.
And former leaders of the National Association of Nigerian Students have pledged their support to the economic policies of the federal government in promoting good governance and sustaining the nation's democracy. The group made this known in Abuja while addressing newsmen on the state of the nation. They appeal to Nigerians, especially the youth, to be patient with the present administration as they work assiduously to reposition different sectors for the overall good of the citizenry.
Believe that through dialogue and concerted efforts, we can navigate these challenging times and work towards a better future for all Nigerians.
Nigeria should be a little more patient, including us, including the media, and for the government to also endeavor their efforts.
The former leaders reaffirmed their confidence in the president to turn things around in Nigeria very soon. And now to the National Assembly. Senate passes 70,000 naira National Minimum Wage Bill as requested by President Tinubu. The lawmakers granted expeditious consideration to the bill transmitted Tuesday as it passes first, second and third reading.
After a series of negotiations between the federal government and the organized labor, the current national minimum wage of 30,000 naira only has been reviewed upward to the sum of 70,000 naira only. This is part of the federal government's short-term measures to mitigate the situation in the country, as efforts are being made to bring about long-term solutions that would align with the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians.
100,000, and to reduce the time for periodic review of the national minimum wage from 5 years to 3 years, and for later matters 2024. Third reading taken and passed.
Senate also approved the national minimum wage review period from 5 to 3 years. In another development, senators also passed the Police Act Amendment Bill to enable an appointed Inspector General of Police remain in office for 4 years, in line with the provisions of Section 7, Subsection 6 of the Police Act. Meanwhile, Senator Ezenwa Onyewuchi, representing Imo East, has defected from the Labour Party to the All Progressive Congress. And still from the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has passed the National Minimum Wage Bill transmitted to the Green Chamber by President Tinubu on Tuesday. The bill increased the national minimum wage to 70,000 naira, with the time for periodic review from 5 years to 3 years.
And provide a legal framework for seamless review of the national minimum wage and for other purposes connected therewith.
From SUCO, along with other palliatives and other actions being taken by the government. And I think this contributes to providing a holistic buffer to the living conditions of our people and for their existential realities.
The Green Chamber also passed the 2024 Appropriation Act Amendment Bill, which brings the 2024 budget to an aggregate of 35.05 trillion. This followed lawmakers' approval of President Tinubu's request for 6.2 trillion budget adjustment, which raised the 2024 budget from an initial 28.7 trillion passed last year.
You can increase, you can decrease, you can change the narrations. That's what it means. As you can see today, we have passed 6.2 trillion by Mr. President, budget of renewed hope. 3.2 trillion capital, while about 3 trillion will go to recurrent. And as I said last time, this is very important and critical roads infrastructures that Mr. President wants to actualize.
The minimum wage bill that you passed, are you confident that this budgetary figure will take care of the minimum wage?
Absolutely. We did our calculations. We got the data from the Account General Office before we apply this figure. So we know the money is enough to, from now to December 31st, to take care of that 70,000. So I mean, it's actually it's enough.
Now, in recent times, Nigeria and the Republic of Turkey have continued to forge a bond, leveraging educational and cultural exchange. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, is pushing the frontiers of this cultural diplomacy with her visit to institute in Abuja, where she also called for more collaboration between the two countries. State House correspondent NTA Taiwo reports.
A total of 35 Nigerian children, male and female, are currently enjoying free education at this Turkish school, Yunus Emre Institute, Abuja. The male section was in class when Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, arrived on a visit. There, she interacted with the young scholars who are not only growing their proficiency in the Turkish language, but are also positioning themselves to be at the center of Nigeria's future engagement with Turkey. Her visit is an opportunity for the pupils to show off their proficiency of the Turkish language acquired in the last 6 months. The First Lady also declared open an art exhibition mounted by Female Artists Association of Nigeria, applauding the Turkish government for promoting education and cultural exchange between the two countries. The First Lady says there is room for more collaboration.
And it's really wonderful to see, especially the children from the orphanage, how easy it is for them to speak the language so fluently. And they also have opportunity for scholarship, not just only the cultural exchange.
Turkish ambassador to Nigeria, Hidayet Barakta, is equally enthusiastic about the future of Nigeria-Turkey relations, leveraging cultural exchange.
Everything is not just about economy, political. There's culture, the cultural dimension. It's very important as well.
The institute was established in Nigeria in October 2021 in Abuja. NTAi, NTA News.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tugar has urged the African Union to reflect on the current realities of African countries in its proposed 2025 budget. This formed part of the thrust of the report of the 48th Ordinary Session of Permanent Representatives Committee at the 6th African Union. A statement by Special Assistant on Media and Communications Strategy to the Minister, Al-Qasim Abdul Qadir, says Yusuf Tugar pointed out that it is aimed at strengthening its continent's unity and development agenda. While highlighting Nigeria's position, the Minister of Foreign Affairs equally called for implementation of the Pan-African Parliament and roadmap for the theme of the year, Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through Reparations. The minister stated the lack of consensus on the AU partnerships policy and strategic framework. However, he noted that its successful adoption will pave way for more effective partnerships. This is the news on NTA International. We'll pause here. We will return with more reports after this break. Welcome back. Now, United States Secret Service Director Kimberly Chittle has resigned after Trump attempted assassination. Her resignation came on Tuesday, a day after acknowledging that the agency failed in its mission to prevent an assassination attempt against Donald Trump. Kolo Mohammed tells us more.
The Secret Service director faced calls to step down after a 20-year-old gunman wounded the former Republican president and current White House candidate at the July rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. It is overdue. Should have done this at least a week ago, says Mike Johnson, the Republican Speaker of the House of Representatives, who said he is happy she heeded the call of both Republicans and Democrats. Kimberly Chittle appeared before a congressional committee on Monday and said the attack on Trump, who was slightly wounded in his right ear, represented a failure by the Secret Service. She called it the most significant operational failure of the Secret Service in decades.
Detail had been past information that there was a threat. The detail would never have brought the former president out onto stage.
She drew the anger of lawmakers from both parties by refusing to provide specific details about the attack, citing the existence of multiple active investigations. Perched on the roof of a nearby building, the gunman opened fire on Trump with an AR-style assault rifle just minutes after he began speaking at the campaign event. He was shot dead by a Secret Service sniper less than 30 seconds after firing the first of 8 shots. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
Vice President Kamala Harris is taking her campaigns in the critical battleground state of Wisconsin for the first time as a presidential candidate after securing enough Democratic delegate support to clear a path to the nomination.
Harris emerged as Democratic candidate after President Joe Biden stood down his candidature for re-election for the 2024 general elections. This decision has been applauded and welcomed by senior Democratic Party members, especially the Vice President, Kamala Harris. After Biden's endorsement, she secured the nomination by winning the pledged support of a majority of the party's delegates, who will determine the nomination. In a statement, she said, and I quote, "I am proud to have secured the broad support needed to become our party's nominee. I look forward to formally accepting the nomination soon." End of quote. An unofficial survey of delegates by Associated Press shows that Harris has more than 2,500 delegates, well over the 1,976 needed to win a vote in the coming weeks. In her first remarks since after her boss stood down his candidature, she ravishly praised his stance, describing him as an objective leader whose love for his party and the nation is immeasurable.
His honesty, his integrity, his commitment to his faith and his family, his big heart, and his love, deep love of our country. And I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
Vice President Kamala Harris vowed she will win, comparing Donald Trump to predators of democracy. She's the first female vice president in the history of U.S. politics, and now Kamala Harris prepares to go head-on as a major party's presidential candidate. Kolom Muhammad, NTA News.
Over 229 persons have been killed in twin landslides in Ethiopia, though that toll is likely to rise as rescue efforts are still ongoing. Again, let's hear from Kolom Muhammad.
The first landslide, triggered by heavy rains in a remote region of Gopher Zone, occurred Monday and was followed by a second one that buried people who had gathered to help the first victims. Residents are seen with bare hands digging through dirt in search of survivors in remote mountainous area. The zonal head of the National Disaster Response Agency in Gopher, Marcus Melese, said at least over 100 bodies have been recovered from two villages, that the search was ongoing and there are bodies yet to be recovered. Most of the victims were buried in a mudslide on Monday morning as rescue workers searched the steep terrain for survivors of a previous mudslide. Gopher is part of the state known as the Southern Nations Nationalities and Peoples Region, SNNPR, located about 320 kilometers southwest of the capital, Addis Ababa. Kolom Muhammad, NTA News.
The attention of government and other stakeholders have been drawn to the need to take more decisive actions against gender-based violence, especially on women and the girl child. This formed part of major opinions raised at a sensitization program organized by UN Women and Women Wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, held in Abuja. Francis Udojo has the report.
Women's rights are fundamental human rights that are enshrined by the United Nations for every human being on the planet. These rights include to live free from violence, slavery, discrimination, to be educated, own property, political participation, and earn fair and equal wage. Despite these rights, women and girls around the world are still denied their rights. This is why the UN Women and the Women Wings of CAN decided to sensitize traditional and religious leaders in Abuja to stem the tide.
We seek to harness your esteemed positions to advance advocacy, influence policy, and drive social norms change that will protect and empower women.
Osinachi, what happened to her some years back? 1 to 2 years back, it was out of silence that she died. So we will tell them the government should take women to be very, very important.
In their opinions, government should be strict on oppression and violence against women for a better society.
Welcome development to the community entirely.
In some places, well, most women are not entitled to owning land. We also have socio-cultural and religious norms that also hinder the women from participating effectively in the society.
Violence against anyone based on gender is quite not acceptable by God.
I can advise government to put law on that issue.
So it's a welcome development. We are so happy, we are so excited with this collaboration, and we look forward to the good things that will come out of it at the end.
The group charged all stakeholders to unite and drive positive change and foster an egalitarian society. Francis Udojo, NTA News.
And experts in the public relations sector believe that governmental public relations is the only way to ensure a peaceful governance. This was their submission at the celebration of the 2024 World Public Relations Day in Nigeria with the theme, The Future of Public Relations in a Changing World, Journey in the Nigerian Federal Civil Service. Haman Jabani reports.
In the fast-changing and competitive world, public relations have to move with the times. Professionalism is the in thing as automation will dominate the future. It is in the light of this that PR professionals must harness the power of digital channels while gearing up for job losses as machines will dictate the pace. Experts say the dynamic nature of social media and digital platforms necessitated a constant evolution in digital PR strategies to effectively reach and resonate with target audience. PR professionals must stay abreast of the latest trends and data.
AI will dominate the future. So, PR departments and outfits will willy-nilly have chief executives and their immediate juniors operating the machines with very few ancillary staff.
Let us reflect on the value that public relations bring. You know, when we started, public relations was first of all seen as a mere publicity function. But today, public relations has advanced to leadership level. There is no leader that can succeed without public relations.
The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations used the occasion to present Excellence in Professional Service Award to Professor Obiora Okonkwo and conferred Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Emi-Esan, with honorary fellowship of the Institute.
Digitalization and AI. That is one thing that I've been preaching, and I'm glad to know that NIPR is also looking that way. In this light, I wish also to acknowledge the forthrightness of the leadership of the NIPR.
Other speakers commended the head of the civil service for her role in public service, which was all about building and sustaining reputations. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
And now a quick look at Wednesday's weather prospects for Nigeria and other parts of the globe. And this is where we end the news. My name is Frama Panyi, and Taiwo Ozoma has been the sign language interpreter. Thanks for watching.